any sirens yet, so I don't know what the state of it's gonna be when I when the stream's done. Nonetheless, I guess we should talk about anime.
Yeah, we probably should talk about anime.
Before I talk about anime, you want to talk about the fish, the suicidal fish one, or you want to watch the last episode of that to see if she actually
I
dies?
do. I'm actually, yeah, that's the only plot line that was in the show, so I do want to see if they followed through on that.
I feel like it's gonna be a will they won't they, and they're gonna extend it on for like another couple seasons of her being suicidal, and then they like just don't ever.
They did do that with Hikaru last season. And that was kind
Yeah,
of annoying.
that was pretty annoying for Hikaru. You know, I could
Yeah.
accept them being gay, but if they at least followed up on their intention for him to like kill people, you know, they could have done that.
Yeah, like they built up to nothing because nothing ended up happening.
Yeah.
Anyway, we probably should talk about these shows, not last season or
Yeah.
not 2 seasons ago.
Yeah. Okay, let's go over just the tier list in general first, where I got everything, because I moved everything around before the stream. Pretty
hmm
much, I had it come into line with old setup where I had like a C minus, which is for shows that I rate like 5 or below, because I often have a bunch of shows that I'm like, I kind of like this. I give a little bit of credit to them. There's some little things I like about it.
hmm
Yeah, 4, 4.5, and 5 for C minus, and then D is like below 4, and then F is like 2.5 or below, or 2.
Yeah,
Just like,
F is borderline unwatchable.
yeah, you know, that might be a little unfair to Wadance, but I really couldn't stomach to watch any of it.
It just looks so bad for like episode 1.
Yeah, none of these shows at the bottom are anything. We only watched the first couple episodes. We don't have any kind of update on that. I never went back for any of those.
hmm
And these shows, they had a little bit more interesting. There's still definitely shows I would not recommend, shows I did not have a fun time watching. Even Nausea, which we watched mostly as a joke. Did you actually want to keep watching it? Did you find it interesting when
I
we were
I
watching
do wanna
Nausea?
keep watching it, but
I get we probably
every
will,
episode
but
it's like you can only stomach 1 episode at a time.
it just keeps getting dumber. Just like even from episode 1, the concept of Nausea is we're going to do a murder, or it literally murder. It's like a murder mystery set with the murder town of Salem werewolf archetype, where
Yeah.
every night one person dies and they have to vote out who the nosy is. But when we try to translate the setting into this high tech universe where the ship somehow knows everything but it also knows nothing, and we're in a time loop because there's some higher being that wants to learn more about humanity, so winning or losing the game doesn't matter at all. You just have to keep going and talking to characters. That's the actual game.
Mhm.
I can see how it works better as a visual novel, but as an anime, the whole concept is just retarded. It really shouldn't exist.
I feel like a visual novel would have more narration or inner dialogue that would make a lot of the issues we have with the show go away. But so far, I genuinely don't even know, like it seems the characters are completely different from loop to loop, so, like, what's even the point?
Well, I wouldn't say they're completely different. Their personalities like stick around and stuff like that.
Some of their personalities do, but their relationships completely changed. That, green-haired girl went from in love with him episode 2 to, like, subservient to the cowboy episode 3, and she just keeps switching every time we see her.
Yeah, you're talking about Stella, yeah. That
Yeah,
is the
Stella.
thing, is like their relationships are conditional based on who it is, because the way the loop is structured is the idea that different people made it onto the ship from Earth or not,
Mhm.
and like how they got there, I guess, is also changed a little bit potentially. Their roles are generally the same, but like there's different aspects that keep changing between them because
Mhm.
he's hopping between different timelines. There is stuff of, I mean, I like what is there of interest? It's just like how dumb it can get. It's
Pretty
it's
much.
it's really hard for me to find a way to recommend this like at all. It's like
They're
I
beating a they're taking a simple concept and beating it to death.
Yeah, it's just I don't think really anything works for Nausea. I absolutely would not recommend anybody watch it. But compared to like some other like shows that I just didn't find any interest in because they're such a boring concept, like it's funny how it can have two shows that are so different but still feel horribly about them the same way. Like Ninja vs. Gokudo, it does have a kind of a boring concept of okay, this is X group versus Y group. They're just like super
Mhm.
insane humans. Even though in episode one, like the only one we watched, we didn't see any of that. We only saw it from like the ninja side or whatever. But I have to assume the other side has something else, or else it wouldn't be a conflict. But we have this like insane hyper-powered like action series, and then we have Adventure in Isekai, which I assume is just another generic protagonist is overpowered. He just walks through the world and experiences life, no challenge. And then we have stuff like Wa Dances, really entirely ruined by its animation. It's just ruined by really terrible CG that we couldn't stand to look at. Then we have Nausea, which was very actually that's one of its highlights. Probably it's competently produced. It doesn't hurt to look at. The character designs can be weird, but it doesn't actually hurt to look at.
Yeah, like one character in particular looks awful because he's supposed to, but like none of the animation looks bad.
Yeah, yeah, it was like entirely competently produced throughout, which is nice, but the storyline really holds it back.
Hmm.
Uh, yeah, I don't feel like talking about any of the other lower ones. Like Let's Play is one we watched a couple episodes of, and I say it would be a bad one that's like slightly more interesting, but it would still be for the same mocking attitude I would have towards it. It would not be
Hmm.
in in appreciation for anything it's really doing. And specifically, what I liked about it was the setting, because we have this girl in like a modern setting and she's just like Tumblr tier retarded, and
Yeah.
she has no idea what she's doing at work. She has no idea what she's doing in her personal life, and her actions just don't make any sense. She doesn't think things through. I found it endearingly, endearingly retarded, as I would say. But beyond that, I
Yeah,
didn't really have anything for Let's Play I was like attached to. So that's one reason we were like, okay, let's keep one of the bad shows that we thought was really funny and dumb, and we decided on Nosy over Let's Play for that reason.
exactly.
Yeah. Then we had shows, mostly more competent shows in the like the C minus tier. It didn't really feel good enough about keep watching any of them, but like my status as an assassin obviously exceeds his hero. Story felt pretty boring to me, very much just generic, oh, it's a revenge thing. There's some aspects of okay, from episode one he's realized that there's something wrong and he needs to try to fix it. And eventually other characters also realize the same thing and then they go after him to join him, try to stop the I guess kind of stop the king. I'm not exactly sure entirely what their goal was. I think his goal was to free their friends. I assume the other people that through had the same idea, but their
Hmm.
path to achieving their goal isn't linear. This is from what I got from reading the manga because I read some of that and I remembered more of it as time's gone on. So yeah, it was well produced, like Nausea, except honestly better. Like some of the animation episode one was very good, and I assume that would pop up multiple other times for important battles.
Hmm.
It's just the overall story wasn't very interesting, and I didn't really care for any of the characters, so we ended up just dropping it pretty early. Yeah, this monster wants to eat me. Episode one, intriguing. Lesbian, suicidal lesbian gets taken in or taken care of, whatever, watched over by a mermaid who wants to eat her because she thinks she tastes delicious if she lets her mature. And then she has to also fight off other monsters who would want to eat her.
Hmm.
I don't know what's
It's
so
not.
special about her in particular, but yeah.
It's just. I assume it's like an air of tragedy because she's suicidal for a reason. Her family died, and she's sad. And that might also come to play, like other monsters ate her family or something because they taste good, or who knows. But regardless, it got very boring very quickly.
Yeah, like we literally dropped to episode two. Episode two, it
Yeah.
already felt like it. It didn't know exactly where it wanted to go, so it was gonna just tread water for a while.
Yeah. She repeated, like, oh my god, this thing's gonna eat me like 3 times in episode 2. And on the third time we dropped it.
You're just like, this seems kind of dumb. It doesn't seem like it's. It was very focused. Like when you get an idea for a story, but then you don't actually know where to go with it. You just have the idea for the story, and then you just keep writing, and you don't actually go back to edit your writing to
Hmm.
condense it down. I think we only watched 2 episodes of Plus Size Misadventures of Love. I found the main character somewhat endearing, but in the premise of like she was killed and we got to figure out who did it and why and stuff like that. It was somewhat interesting, but I didn't feel like it was that well written. Like it just wasn't. I just didn't have that much I attached myself to aside from the character's kind of funny, but it felt like it was pretty slow and I didn't really get into a lot of what it was doing in the first 2 episodes.
I agree.
Yeah, was My Friend's Little Sister you had it has it in for me one you were more interested in?
Yeah, this was one of the shows I wanted to watch. It it had a little bit going on. It's your standard harem or well, just friend group hanging out with the little sister being the main girl in it.
Yeah.
Trying to
Honestly,
think.
I was gonna say for me, like the teacher character was very weird because like
Oh yeah, she was hot.
we're trying to do the gap thing where she's strict at school trying to be the teacher and then she's like ridiculously submissive and wants to be degraded outside of school by a student.
She's not a good character. Definitely took us out of it. And then there were other things in it that just didn't really work.
Yeah, we had the
Like
setup
he
with the main character
oh,
gonna
that
be
shit the shit where we dropped it, like, where they had the fake wall
the fake.
that actually worked.
Oh, I forgot about that. I didn't even remember that part. I was thinking of just the relationship. They wanted to have the main character do a fake relationship with the got uncle's daughter or something.
Yeah, yeah, his cousin.
Yeah. I could just see where that plot line was going to go from the start, and she was going to be the actual love interest. we're gonna
She's not though, it's little sister.
no, we're gonna no. That's just the bait. They were gonna have her be the actual love interest. They're gonna. That's the thing is they were gonna. The way they set up is like, oh, if you're gonna have a fake relationship set up with somebody, that's gonna become the real relationship. That's just how they always do it. They always do that.
No, she was obviously gonna be a love interest, but she wasn't gonna be the main one because that's little sister.
Yeah, but the little sister couldn't confess her feelings, and she was never gonna get there.
She was okay, she was gonna get there, okay? Look, I had faith in fuck, I can't speak. I had faith in her. Okay, she was gonna get there. She definitely was a little bit pushy. I think she had what it takes.
Yeah, I didn't dislike the little sister, but I also got confused between the main character and the main character's friend multiple
True.
times. Like lots of writers have trouble creating differences between characters aside from their hair. That very much showed here. I just really I did not differentiate between the main character and his best friend in the 2 episodes that we watched. But yeah, you mentioned the fake hallway thing. The, the plot was not slow. The plot was pretty dumb. It felt pretty dumb. It felt a
Yeah.
little bit too contrived when we were trying to get our characters together in like a club setting or whatever to make a game together, which is like kind of the overarching idea. It's like that's how they would be together. They're making a game. But how we pushed our characters together, like from their initial points to where they needed to be afterwards, it felt like you could have just had them start somewhere else that was more reasonable for them to get together and become a group.
Okay, I looked it up. You were right.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah, you were correct. It was in fact her who he ends up with.
wow. It's almost like it's so generic you can predict it from watching a single episode.
And you did. You in fact did.
Yeah, like they throw this better character at you. The little sister is the better character of the two. They throw her out there as bait, and it's basically story-driven NTR.
No, that's actually that pisses me off so much. She's the fucking titular character of the show.
This is why I really hate anime. This is why I hate anime.
Anime's bad. It's terrible. Kill them all.
Yeah, I don't know how you actually do that. I knew it was gonna happen because we saw it's like, okay, every time they have a fake relationship where they hate each other, they end up liking each other and getting together. it shouldn't have happened because she is less interesting of a character just off the jump
Hmm.
than the little sister. It should have been focused on the little sister trying to do what she needs to do to get between them and show that she's the better one for them. Because obviously, the teacher is never
Yeah,
going to be considered. Like, who cares? She's a side character, obvious side character.
she can end up with the best friend.
Yeah, that's fine. It's like we talked about that one enough. I don't have as much to say about Mechanical Marie.
Yeah, it was competent. It just was kind of slow and it didn't look super good.
It was just okay. I mean, that's why it's down here. It was just okay. I give it like a 5. Just pretty normal anime. Some okay comedy. That's about it.
Hmm.
Yeah, nothing enough to stand out for us to keep watching it. This is one I liked a little bit more, but you were not into.
Yeah, really just I think all the characters look bad except the main girl.
Was this called Love at Fell in Love at Work or something? Let's see which one it was. I put it on
Something
dropped.
along those lines. Oh, you just went over it. My awkward senpai.
Yeah, yeah, my
They have the
awkward senpai.
stupid back highlight on the hair, so everyone just looks pretty bad because they don't have complementary colors like she does.
Yeah, like blonde and pink works pretty well. I actually used that for the thumbnail art is pink and blonde or pink and yellow.
Mm.
Because yeah, it's a good color combo. It's like brown and green. It's just a little bit too much contrast, and all the characters had it. It's like a weird quirk of like the artists. They decided like that's our
Hmm.
little visual quirk we're gonna use.
Like I just saw black and purple. I just saw light blue and green. Like it doesn't look great.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, I thought their relationship was cute. I liked the senpai particularly. I didn't get anything from the other characters. We watched about 2 episodes of it. Didn't get anything from the other characters. Like, I don't need to keep watching it.
Yeah,
I thought it did
and I'm
have
glad we did.
minor potential, but I didn't really need to keep watching it. And then the next one
This
was
is the
A Star Brighter Than the Sun. This is one, honestly, I could still give another chance to. I might have been a little bit too harsh to this one at first. It didn't have that much great stuff, but I thought the main cast was just like a pretty. I was gonna say, how would I describe her personality? She was like a little bit more rough,
I just call her self-loathing.
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 Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
her personality is a little bit more negative, and then his is a little bit more positive, and he's like more of a golden retriever type guy. And then we had,
Hmm.
even in episode 2, we had like the thing where the other girl was kind of eyeing him, but she was like, "Oh, I don't want to get in between your guys' thing."
Yeah, and that was the highlight of the show for me from
Yeah,
what we
that
watched.
was a nice
Just the
wrinkle.
friend being an actual person.
Yeah, we have characters that feel a little bit more human as we go up the list and stuff like that. And then, yeah,
Hmm.
I think there's some potential here. I would probably need to watch a little bit more of this to get a better picture because again, only a couple episodes. But I'd probably end up dropping it a little bit lower if I watched more. This is what happened to a couple of these other shows. Like, is there anything? Yeah, we didn't really have anything else we want to say about this one. I think that's about it. We
Yeah,
because we only
nothing to
watched it a
say. It
little
was the
bit.
tall girl show, and she isn't actually that tall.
Yeah, she's not even taller than him. What is that even? What's
Yeah.
that? What's that worth even? We're gonna get another show. I think we are actually getting a show about like a girl who's like over 6 feet tall, and this sometime this year. I forgot what it was called, but I know there was like this one that's like a tall, like a super tall girl, relation, a romance thing. Because we had Dangers in My Heart where she was much taller. Mostly it was because he's just really short. That's the main disparity between them is because he was really short. Yeah,
Yeah.
I forgot the name of it, but yeah, we'll see it like this year sometime. I'm pretty sure because it said it got announced for anime. I remember seeing
It
the
wasn't
announcement.
it wasn't 8 meter tall girlfriend, was it?
No, I don't think that one had an adaptation. I think it was Do You Like Tall Girls?
Oh, that's porn.
Anime. I think it was manga because I remember there was something. There was
No,
something like that.
that manga's hentai.
Are you
Just so
sure?
you know.
No,
I'm
I know it's
100%
getting. I know
sure.
it's getting adapted though.
Okay, well, it's getting adapted by Pink Lemonade or
It
whatever,
might
Pink
get it
Pineapple.
might get censored to hell and back. But
Maybe.
was it? Do you like big girls? I don't
Yes,
remember.
and that is 100% hentai.
Okay, I never looked at it, but I was like, oh
Yeah, I
yeah, yeah.
also hated the story.
Okay, it was about volleyball. Yeah, volleyball.
Yes, it was about volleyball.
That's what it
I
was.
don't I don't like the story at all, so I don't wanna describe it.
Is there cucking going on?
Um, the main girl tricks the main guy into getting with his own sister.
That sounds kind of fucked.
Yeah, it is.
Uh, Back to the actual anime airing. Alma-chan wants to be a family. This was a moderately cute series. We watched about half of. We got to episode 6 before we
Mhm.
decided, don't really care enough about it to keep going.
Yep. But it was fun.
Yeah, it has some vibes of Spy Family because we have this built family together, like these two scientists. They're in a relationship currently,
Hmm.
but because of the little android robot girl that they made together who wants them to be a family, they end up living together and like having her go to school, having her make little friends, having and just slice of life adventure stuff. It was pretty alright.
Mhm.
If you want a slice of life show, it's okay. If your main demographic is like looking for slice of life content, they just want to put on and watch. Yeah, it can be added to your lineup, but otherwise I wouldn't recommend it to most people. It was just okay.
Mhm.
May I ask for one final thing? Good concept that doesn't get built upon at all and just kind of becomes boring because she's a little bit too overpowered.
I mean, the concept is just villainous that punches people.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's fine, but also like that's a good place you could start from. But you also have to have a world that's worth a shit,
Yeah.
and it really doesn't. All we really have is like her brother, who's very much just a side character who doesn't show very much, and her main love interest, who's like the crown prince.
Well, I mean, the last arc we were watching was the priestess girl trying to get with her brother. So he did show up a little bit more, but it wasn't great.
Yeah, honestly, I was like tuning out by the time we got to that because like the whole slavery arc where she was dealing with slavers is like it just wasn't that interesting, man.
Not at all.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't recommend it. Like even for people like Villainous, I wouldn't recommend. There was things I liked, but it was very mediocre in the end.
There's always one good villainous show a season, and it was not this one.
Yeah, it wasn't that one. Yeah, Tojima wants to be a common writer. That was our next one here. This one, I think it played. I think it did a good job playing the corniness straight. I think it did a good job on that because we have such a corny premise. We have these regular people who are suiting up and imitating common writer stuff because they like the aesthetic of it and trying to be
Hmm.
heroes to stop people from attacking innocents. Generally, I think that's mostly what's happening. There was like actual superpowers involved, like evil organization, like monster, turning other people into monsters for their own benefit to try to like cause chaos and whatnot. Yeah, I think it did a pretty good job taking it straight because I don't. Well, I've enjoyed stuff that is parodying it somewhat. I think the tone I think the tone made sense for what they were doing with the story with the characters. Like this guy who's downtrodden who really doesn't have anything going on in his life. He just really loved Kamen Rider and he wants to make a difference in the world, and this is how he ends up being able to do it. Did you have any feelings about this one?
I enjoyed it for what it was.
Yeah,
I got a little bit annoyed when every episode was like 2 minutes of present time and then 18 minutes of flashbacks.
that wasn't. I mean, that was like that was the girl episode. That was when we were introducing
No, that actually
Tackle.
was every episode.
No, it wasn't every episode because there was the episode where they're actually
No.
fighting the big bad one time.
Yeah, but in the middle of that, they're going over
Oh yeah, we did have a
ETO's
flashback.
backstory.
Yeah, we have the flashbacks are pretty long. The flashbacks are pretty
Mhm.
long in this one.
And it wasn't even that bad.
No, I thought it was decently entertaining. It's just I didn't really keep up with it because we just didn't watch that much anime this season.
Yeah.
Another reason is because it's a two core series, and I was like, I don't actually want to watch that much of this series right now. That's another,
Mhm.
funnily enough, that is another reason we dropped is because it was 24 episodes. That's another reason I decided, okay, we're not going to bother finishing because it's not going to be over anyways.
Mhm.
So, yeah.
I mean, we would have said the same shit about Hikaru if we knew it was 24 episodes.
Hikaru. Which one are you talking about? Last season
Hikaru from
or
yeah.
summer season? Okay. The summer Hikaru died. I mean, that one, yeah, because that one was like it needs to be a 2 season because it can't be finished in one. It's like a cliffhanger ending.
Yeah, cliffhanger ending, and they announced it the day that it released the final episode.
Yeah, Campfire Cooking Another World was my absurd skill. This is what I enjoyed season one quite a bit for what it was. But for season two, we didn't really go anywhere else at all. We were just gonna be doing a holding pattern in the same exact scenario, which some people can enjoy, but for me, just I didn't really have anything attached to me to the show because I don't like spending time with the characters that much. I thought the setting was fun for a while, but it really didn't hold my interest.
Hmm.
Yeah, I feel like this is one I definitely don't have a lot to say about because season one where it happened is just like this guy gets transported to another world. He has the ability of online shopping, so he can buy stuff from Amazon or the Japanese equivalent, and he just goes around. He befriends a powerful familiar in Fenrir with his cooking ability because the stuff he cooks is super good, super high quality because of like basically his ability. I think this food he gets this from online shopping and stuff is like magically high quality. It feels like it's more magically high quality than it just being a difference between the era of just like super like how much sugar and salt we put into our food nowadays. I think it's more than that difference. That's what it felt like to me.
Maybe I guess yeah, because it just straight up teleports to you. It's as fresh as it possibly could be.
Cause like yeah, even him just like making sauce and stuff. I'm not sure exactly what it was. Either way, he just cooks food and then he cooks more food and then he cooks more food and then his companions kill stuff in a dungeon for him. That's what happened.
Hmm.
Yeah, and this is one that honestly I did put a little bit higher. The mangaka show, mangaka's weirdly wonderful workplace. This is what I put a bit higher, but we still ended up dropping. You didn't care for it really.
Yeah, it wasn't my favorite.
It does get a little bit repetitive with the main character's personality. She's very skittish and just very low self-esteem. She's just like constantly just like worrying and crying about things. I think that would probably annoy plenty of people.
I think a lot of the characters were one note. Like they're one way and then they're another way, and those are well, I that would make them two notes, but you get what I'm saying. They have two things going on. They have their main personality and they have their secret secondary personality.
Yeah.
The main character's skittish until she's working, where she's hyper focused and looks pretty cool. The editor, I guess,
Yeah, I think that was
blonde
Editor.
girl,
Yeah.
yeah, she's serious until she's drunk, you know.
Yeah, the characters are pretty
Um,
simplistic. It doesn't seem like their interactions are all that interesting. I found the cast of characters could work together just fine. I found it entertaining enough, but I didn't feel enough compelling me to keep watching it. Yeah, it's just a cute girls do making manga. They
yeah,
did have some focus on the actual making of the manga aspect of it, but it wasn't to such an interesting detail for me. Other shows dive more into their hobbies and whatnot, or like hobbies or niche interests. So like where a show like Ruri Rocks, it dove a lot more into the actual geology aspect of it, even though it was like keeping it more surface level so people could follow along better. And it was more like science school like level stuff you just learn in school rather than trying to go too deep into it. It was still engaging and felt more passionate than this one.
I agree.
Yeah. So it was a pretty okay show. Yeah, if you're looking for cute girls do cute things, hobbyist kind of thing, it could be entertaining enough, but if it doesn't catch you, don't worry about it. It's not I wouldn't consider it to be that great. And then we have we had Nosy. I had Nosy over there. Yeah.
Hmm,
Oh, did I have yeah, there we go. Dusk Beyond the End of the
there
World.
we are.
Yeah, this is one we watched to the end. I definitely I definitely zoned out for watching some of this. So yeah,
Well, you didn't miss much because a lot of the in between episodes have no bearing on the ending.
yep. Yeah, this is 13 and it constantly interrupted me. It constantly had me second guessing what episode we were on, because it is a 13 episode series, but the first episode is called episode 00.
Mhm.
So basically, every single week that we watched this, I started on the wrong episode because
And had to go back, yeah.
yeah, I constantly got on the wrong episode. Yeah, the plot of this one is we had it all explained to us in episode like 11, I think, the entire backstory of the
Mhm.
world. We had the two main characters, Akira and Toasa, which are the brown and blue one there. Basically, she is a genius and she figures out how to create actual artificial intelligence, like genuine artificial intelligence. But before that, she caused an apocalypse where she put nanomachines into everybody and allowed the human body to be hacked remotely.
Yeah.
So yeah, she was responsible for one of the biggest catastrophes in human existence. And then she
I think
created
it's
AI to solve this, and it destroyed humanity.
yeah, it went from a bad situation to 200 million people left alive.
And that was only because she invented androids who couldn't be hacked by this artificial intelligence, and that it was able to destroy all of the forces of the AI, because she was able to create
Mhm.
stronger soldiers than the AI was. I don't even know how that happens. But yeah, she did that, and then the androids saved humanity, and then there's a new world government that she was a part of with her and her scientist buddies that she ruled the
Yep.
world with. And then Akira decided that he wanted everybody to be able to marry as many people as they wanted, so he invented LC, which is a different type of marriage where you can marry as many people as you want.
Yeah. Akira was not this Akira, the other Akira, the real Akira, because
Yeah,
this Akira
sorry,
is a robot.
spoilers. This Akira is not the real Akira. The Akira we're looking at is not
Yeah.
the real Akira.
The real Akira stayed alive for 200 years and ran the world government, where he made marriage with as many people as you want legal.
That was what the real Akira did. The fake Akira was made as an android to look for Toasa because she disappeared because Yugure, the other main character, just took her away somewhere. I don't even know why. I don't think we actually got an explanation exactly why Toasa just like left. I think she just didn't want to deal with it anymore.
Pretty much.
I found the show to be engaging, but not for the right reasons for the most part. I think being rated 63 on Annalist kind of says a lot about it.
It's fair. It
Mo-
really is.
Most shows on Annalist get like a 7. Most people just like generally default to around a 7 or like close enough where it averages out that. So when you're getting below a 7, it means you did something to piss people off, usually something people did not like. And there's a lot of things the show did that people would probably not like.
Mhm.
As high as this one is, this is not a show I would recommend people watch. I've changed my mind on it. I did
Hmm.
not think we were gonna just like get the whiplash in the last couple episodes to learning the entire reason for the apocalypse. It was all Toas's fault, and then she just fucked off afterwards.
She fucked off, died of old age. All the current problems in the show is because people think she's alive and they want to find her,
Yeah,
but she's not. She's been dead 150 years.
the final conflict in the show is spurned on because people are still trying to find her, even though she's been dead this whole time.
Yeah.
Both of the final, actually, everything relating to the final conflict is only because people don't know Toas is dead.
Yeah. The one character trying to find her, the android trying to find her.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
like
have the
every villain.
we have the ultimate villain of the show trying to find her, and then we have also the secondary antagonist who's one of the other androids who's trying to kill Yugure because she won't lead her to Toasa.
Mhm. Very good, very fun, very not that well written, honestly.
I I was very impressed. One of the things I would always be impressed by is the gore in the show. They really went all out for like a couple episodes where they actually had the androids fighting humans and they just like decimate them and they get turned into little meat chunks. I was like,
Mhm.
wow. And they had some like when they killed the main villain too. That was pretty cool.
Oh, yeah, yeah, he
Like
got
that.
obliterated.
Yeah, he got literally like electrocuted to death, and that was pretty
Mhm.
awesome. And the sound design in the show is quite good. I like the music and I like the sound effects, and I think it looked nice all across the board. But the story writing, pretty dumb. Honestly,
I
I would say I don't recommend it, but if you want to check it out, you
we didn't even
you will be
mention
confused.
Amaru.
She just doesn't matter that much, does she?
She doesn't, no.
She doesn't really matter until like the end.
Yeah.
I don't actually,
Unless you count
I don't
the
hate Amaru even. I don't hate Amaru at all. But I
I
think
just
just the
dislike
way
her initial design.
I don't agree with that either. I think the story just didn't treat her very well. I think the story didn't treat his characters very well. I don't dislike the characters in the story, but I don't think the story was well written around them. I think that's how I'd put it.
I think that's definitely fair.
Yeah, like
Well,
most
I mean, even the
let's
like,
go
we
over just like
talked
a
about
simple
the
idea. Like
Intima.
we talked about like the ending, but let's go over like a simple idea
Yeah.
of the plot. It's like we had the world ends, Akira gets sealed in a tube, what his memory thinks is happening. He got sealed in a tube away because he got fatally injured. This is both true and false, because that happened to the real Akira, but also that was the last memory given to the fake Akira. So that's where
Mhm.
he thinks it ended. He got sealed in a tube for a couple hundred years while the world was rebuilding under the New World government, and like all the android stuff happened after he got fatally injured. Actually, like all of the like the nano machines inside people, the rogue AI, the androids, all that was after Akira went out, so he didn't know any of that. So he gets
Mhm.
plopped into this world later. Yugure finds him, and then she takes him around trying to keep him away from the government. And they go on adventures together. They were trying to find Toasa. That was
Yeah.
their whole goal the whole time. But it didn't feel like a lot of the different characters and stuff they ran into fed back into the story that much over the course of their journey. It didn't feel like it really had any impact on the plot because it feels like there was a demand for an ending, like the person who created it had to end the story where they had to end it, and they had to come up
Mhm.
with an ending on the spot. That's what it felt like happened.
I mean, it kind of felt like that, but at the same time, I don't understand why you would have so many, like, side characters, giving them, like, things to think about, but then none of them actually relate to anything that happens in the ending.
There's like extremely small connections between like each individual episode's like arc and the side characters they run into and the actual end of the show. There's like concepts around marriage, around the relationships. That happens a couple times in the show, but ultimately it feels like they could have condensed it down a lot better and they could have explored other aspects of the characters.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of room to grow on the show. There's a lot of things that could have been done better. I think it could be interesting to look at from a perspective when you're just trying to analyze media and see what went wrong and right. I think it's interesting for that aspect, but overall, it's an entertaining show. It was moderately entertaining. I was a bit disappointed by the ending, even though I think the ending isolated wasn't bad, which is a weird thing to say.
Yeah, it just wasn't a good cap for the show,
Yeah,
but it was fine. It was fine.
yeah, I think that's a good way to put it. Okay, and then we
Little Miss
had
Vampire.
Little Miss Vampire Can't Suck Right. This is just a cute show. I thought it was cute. I enjoyed the characters doing their daily life stuff. I enjoyed it for what it was, and that's all you have to say about it, really. I thought the
Mhm.
characters are decently interesting. It's just a simple comedy slice of life. Yeah, if you're in the mood for that, I think you'll probably like it. I think
Oh,
most people
definitely.
I think most people enjoy it. And like you enjoyed what you watched, but you just didn't really care about finishing it.
Yeah, yeah, I got to a point where it was like, I mean, we could watch anything else, like more interesting shows that we want to finish, and my laptop was fucking up, so I'll just skip this one.
Yeah. I haven't finished it yet myself, but I don't think we're gonna get anything interesting. We're not gonna get like a complex romance. We're not gonna get a very touching final scene or anything. I don't think in the last episode. It's just gonna be more of the same. So if you want
Yeah.
a show that actually grows over its lifespan and the character dynamics change, I don't think you're gonna get that with Little Miss Vampire Can't Suck Right. But I got what I wanted, so I was happy with it. Yeah, and then are going up to the B plus tier with like I think I had this at a 7. Chitose in the Ramune bottle. I think the characters are pretty well written in terms of like have a decent amount of depth to them. Like you compare it to the like mangaka show, the characters here just had felt more real. It felt like they were better written in terms of having different personality traits and not just being two. And The scenarios the characters found themselves in, I didn't find to be the most interesting. I didn't feel like the overarching story was the most interesting thing. Because we have the idea of all these girls basically just being after this one guy, and it happens fairly organically. It's kind of hard to describe
Yeah,
the show to make it sound interesting, but I did find it engaging to go along with the characters nonetheless, even though their designs are not really that standout and like for any of them.
they make all the characters feel believable and their affection towards him believable. I don't think it does anything bad. In fact, it does a lot of things better than most romances. It just, I need to watch more of it before I can give a good opinion on it.
Yeah, that's the hard thing about this is how many episodes how many episodes are we on here because
We
it's
got
not
like
done yet.
5 in.
We're only got 5 in. Like
Yeah.
it's hard to get a fully formed opinion on it because we only watched like one episode after it came back because it had like a 2 month break in the middle.
Yeah.
Like something happened to production, they had to take a huge break and they couldn't get back on TV or whatever, something like that.
Mhm.
So yeah, it was a little bit weird. I do want to finish it, but it's not going to be finished this season. It's got like at least another 4 weeks left.
Yeah, something like that. Does it tell you what
Actually, I
episode's
don't
out?
know. I think 10. That was the last one discussion.
Oh, that would make sense, yeah.
Oh, it's taking
Yeah.
another break.
It
Okay. So yeah, like this, they're basically saying it's like they didn't have any more time slots, so they have to wait until next season. So yeah, it's not gonna be airing until spring.
damn.
So yeah, like this production,
Hopefully
like
they finished whatever arc they were on.
yeah, the production got like massively screwed up. It probably cost people a lot of money. They lost they lost a lot of money on this one just because of the bad production
100%, yeah.
mistakes. Yeah, I think this is probably still gonna be a show I want to finish. It's just we can't finish. We can't finish it, dude. Can't finish it.
Yeah. It's not an option at this point.
So yeah, basically they could not make their. I think what happened is they could not make the earlier slots. It wasn't done, so they had to delay. They only could finish out and put air on their remaining slots for the season, and then they had to wait until the season after to get any new slots to air it. I believe is what happened. That's my assumption. I don't know anything too much about the inner workings, but that's what I think is going on. Okay, then we start. Yeah, this is starting to get into our upper tier here. Tatsuki Fujimoto's 1726. I don't have the best memory of this because we watched it a couple months ago. That's why it's another thing for Ramune. It's like I have a better idea if I actually watched the show somewhat recently. Like we finished uh beginning at or I keep forgetting the name of the Dusk show. Uh
Dusk,
Beyond the
before the
End
end
of
of
the
the world.
World. Yeah. Because I keep messing up like dusk, beyonds. It's like I keep like mixing those words together in my head. I remember the plot of this one pretty good because we actually watched it recently. When we have stuff like Tatsuki Fujimoto, which we finished like at least a month ago, over a month ago, it's a little bit
Mhm.
harder to keep a grasp on exactly what happened.
I remember quite a few of the episodes.
Oh yeah,
The
I do
first one
remember a lot
obviously
of
stands out
episodes.
because it was bad.
Yeah, I remember the episodes, but I don't remember all the different plots. There's like different little plot beats that get lost and stuff over the time because I didn't really write down my thoughts on this.
Mhm.
Yeah, we're just going.
I think, honestly, just looking at the titles, it's reminding me of them a lot. They're all very good except the first one. Like, Mermaid Rhapsody, come on.
Yeah, I actually
Gotta
like
love Mermaid Rhapsody.
yeah, like going through each individual episode, like the first episode was a couple clucking chickens were still kicking in the schoolyard. The concept is aliens invade Earth, eat all the humans, and then there's just two humans left, basically. A girl and her older brother, I think it was. It might not have actually
Yeah,
been related, but either way, there's like two humans left, and like she basically or he'd started taking care of her. Yeah, plot spoilers for each episode. Each episode is an individualized plot. I would absolutely recommend you watch this one. Yeah, you can skip to the you can skip on to our next one. Although we're gonna be kind
mhm.
of be going over spoilers for all of these next shows. I guess real quick for each episode is like, or each show that we go over. I would say I would absolutely recommend all of these in our top tier.
Oh, 100%. They're all very good, very competent shows.
Yeah, all of these are a little bit more mixed recommendations down here, but like once you get up to this level, it's like Fujimoto on is like an absolute recommendation. Still gotta see more of Ramune to really Chitose to really get ideas like is this actually gonna be a good show? Does it peter out? Whatnot? But no, these are all ended, and we watched all of these, so we can say yes, we would recommend them. Yeah, Tatsuki Fujimoto is a anthology series. It has different stuff going on every episode. Pretty much all of them except for the first episode, I would say were good. I really did not like the first episode, but the rest of them I thought they got better and better. Lots of them are very, very good. I'll say
Hmm.
I might actually put it higher. I gave it a 7.5 then, but I think I'd probably put it higher thinking on it
Oh,
now.
I would definitely put it higher.
Yeah.
Just like I'm going through the episode names. It's like Sasaki stops a bullet. That was amazing.
Yeah, I was just thinking like I was soured a lot because of the start. It was the only one I would give a negative score to, and ultimately I would end up giving it. Like I think I can move it up now because like why not?
Yeah.
I'll move it up. I think I'd probably put it above touring overall, even with like it's only 8 episodes, but like 7 out of 8 I really liked.
Hmm.
Yeah, I would absolutely recommend all of these. First, you got Yano Kun, a very solid romance. They actually like basically become a couple towards the middle of the series, and they can spend time with each other as a couple, and they get closer and they learn more about each other. They have TT times, TT moments together. Pretty good.
Hmm.
Touring After the Apocalypse, one of the better just casual adventure shows, just like touring after the apocalypse. You got Irie and what's the main character's name actually? I have to look at it. Touring
Yeah, that's a good question.
Yuko. I think they usually say Yuko. Yeah, Yuko and
Hmm.
Irie. You just have them going around. Every now and then they run into a like android that's like still functioning. I think they run into two, and then they run into some ghosts of like people's past.
Hmm.
Yeah, they just go around exploring the world and seeing what there is to see, and it's a really beautiful world. The plot,
It
it
is.
does have some plot to it, but it's not as important as just experiencing the environments. Then there are individual
Hmm.
character stories that they run along and people to intersect with that add value to their journey, which I thought pretty much all of them were really well done. Every like side character you have is very good.
I can't think of a bad one. Even the product placement was really good.
Yeah. Yeah, then you got Sonda, which is a very fun action show. The characters grow a lot over the course of the series. And if we get a good season two, I'd probably end up rating it even higher. I'm often dismissive of action series because I just don't really find them to be very interesting in either the world aspect. It feels like they've been done a lot before, and then you have the aspect of the characters just aren't that interesting. But Sonda, I found the characters, pretty much all the characters, to be interesting. I think the one adult, like the guy who helps him out, who decides to not kill him, the guy who's explicitly contracted to kill him, who decides to not kill him. I didn't really find him to be the most interesting character, but otherwise, I found all the kids interesting. I found like the director interesting. I liked the other senior council member lady he runs into, and I think the world is really interesting. Like the different aspects of the world we'll get into later. Yeah, I thought it was a really cool action series, really nice world setup, and you just kind of slowly learn more stuff about it that changes your understanding of the world. I thought there was a lot of cool concepts going on in here.
Yeah, we were joking early on about like them mentioning something that never gets brought up again, but like apparently it was just like a normal thing. And so like even if they explored it, it wouldn't actually have changed anything, referring to like the basement classrooms.
Yeah, because that was actually just that was just a part of the school that everybody knows about and that everybody
Yeah.
knows to avoid. Yeah,
I'm trying to think, even like the man character that helps them, he is meant to be boring. So I know memes or whatever
yeah,
pretend to be retarded, but like I think it was I think he's genuinely like all the characters are well written
yeah. We'll go
and
over that a little
as they're
bit
supposed to be.
closer later. Yeah, then Wild Last Boss Period, another action series that I was a little bit more interested in. We have basically she's I guess you could call she's not really in the same archetype as the Otome game villainess is, but I would probably call her a villainess. She's like the big bad of the world. We have this world set
Mhm.
in a video game that becomes real. So we've seen that plenty of times before. Yeah, we have this character. We have the aspect of that the player possessing a character, and they are not the same person. Like the character that he possesses, Lufus, is a different person from what he is. And then we have machinations of the world going on behind him that we learn towards the end. Yeah, I thought it was a really good action series. I think it really grew in depth. Otherwise, I would have had it below Sonda without the ending. Maybe I should saw it below Sonda, but yeah, I wouldn't have had it on the same level as Sonda without the final couple episodes, as we learn a little bit more about the world as it expands and we get more depth
Mhm.
to it. Yeah,
Yeah, I
otherwise I would have
totally
said it
agree.
was like just a fun action series that we go around with like the overpowered character. Yeah, there's a good story elements to it that I like quite a bit. Then we have Spy Family, which I just consistently think is one of the a great continuing series. Love the main three characters. Love their little side characters together. I like the world of Spy Family they were set in. We got the East versus West, and that's not. I love the interesting world to it. I like the setting of this modern setting, where this modern spy thriller, or like semi-modern, because we're set probably about 30, 50 years back, something like that,
Mhm.
in a post World War II era. Yeah, it's basically a Cold War setting show.
It is.
Yeah, I found the humor to be top notch. I really like the characters, and I think each weekly adventure usually does a pretty good job being part of the continuing narrative. Not all of them have direct relevance to the continuing narrative of like Lloyd trying to get closer to Desmond. Or was that the main bad guy's name that he's pursuing?
Desmond's the kid's
No,
bad guy.
Damien. Damien is his son.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Desmond was the older one. I did get that correct. Wow. Imagine that.
Mm.
Yeah, I just think Spy Family is one of my favorite ongoing shows. Good comedy, good drama, good characters. Honestly, I don't think I really need to say anything else for. If you've been watching 2 seasons of Spy Family, you're probably gonna keep watching the rest unless you just weren't that entertained by it. And if you haven't started Spy Family, you might as well go back to some of the older stuff, or start with the first season because there's no reason not to. Stuff does change, even if the character dynamics are mostly the same. Very
Mhm.
little changes in terms of the characters and personal dynamics, but the actual story progression keeps going forward. I don't think I'm actually gonna have anything else to say about Spy Family when it comes
Mm.
to it. I'll have more to say about the rest of them, but we'll go back to Yano Kun to start talking about a little more in depth about the show's plots. Yano Kun down. Yeah, put this one at 7.5. Yano Kun's Ordinary Days. Now we'll be talking about it with full spoilers. Like I said, I moved Tatsuki Fujimoto up, so we'll talk about that one later. Yeah, Yano Kun. I guess this one doesn't really rely much on spoilers because it's a romance show of not a will they, won't they, but when they. we
Mm.
we get progression of these characters going throughout their relationship into probably getting married in the future. And what I really enjoy about it is that we have a smooth progression from them liking each other to actually just dating and start going on dates. And that's like the progression of the first season.
Yeah, they actually have the progress going. Fuck. They actually progress every couple episodes in their relationship.
Yeah, I don't need the characters to like finish their whole relationship arc and get and start screwing in the first episode. But going
Mhm.
through at a pretty reasonable pace of them going through their daily life and becoming closer to each other, I just thought was really good.
Yeah, it feels like a lot of shows nowadays are just immediately or never.
Most shows usually lean towards never, but we do have a show coming up for this season we just watched, which is immediately kind of
Mhm.
show. You and I are polar opposites, which yeah, I thought was pretty good. Yeah, you rated this one very highly. You really like this one.
Yeah, it was really fun. Yano, I mean, having a male protagonist that's actually like mildly interesting is very rare, and this show does it very well. He's fun. He's always banging his head on shit. He is funny.
Yeah, and he has very natural self doubt issues, which makes which gives them a point of the relationship that can be actually improved upon, that will actually grow with time. Is where she proves to him that she doesn't care about his flaws, and he does need to be a little bit more confident in himself.
Hmm.
'Cause, yeah, like he's always getting injured and stuff, so he always wears bandages and whatnot, and he has insecurities about his own appearance because of this fact. And he is like decently handsome, so he probably shouldn't be for that aspect. But also, it's because she likes him, and he shouldn't feel bad about himself when his girlfriend enjoys him for who he is.
Yeah.
So we have that aspect to him. That's like the main thing he's revolving around. We have the aspect of him getting hurt all the time magically. Like really, it's just like fate. It's like this is not normal levels of him getting hurt by things. And this also is carried on from his father, as we see. I think it was like episode 4 or something, or 5. We run to his dad, and he also has the same exact thing happen to him all the time.
Hmm.
So, yeah, I enjoy that aspect of his character a lot. And he's a very touching and gentle person, and I think it works really well when we consider Yoshida. And she's also somebody who is like very attentive, and she a bit of a warrior, as it says there. She's very concerned about Yano being always injured. A little bit more so, it kind of plays both ways, that she worries about him because she likes him, and she likes him because she's somebody she takes care of more subconsciously. This is an aspect of a lot of people, like especially, and I wouldn't say just women, but especially women often feel more engaged when they get to care for somebody. This is something men like to do as well, but very much fits her personality. Did you have anything personally you'd like to say about Yoshida?
Hmm. Well, no, I think all of her reactions are very cute throughout the show. I think she's endearing, like you were saying, and I think you covered all the bases with her.
Yeah, and like the earnestness of the characters in the show is extremely high. I think the writing quality is absolutely what elevates it above most romances, because of how the story is structured, how these characters relate to each other, and their friend group is really nice. Their friends really like to help and try to get push them closer to each other. And really appreciate seeing them in a relationship together. They find it adorable as well.
Hmm.
I wouldn't say all the characters are like the most interesting of like romance side characters, but I think they all like have their do their own little bits to add to the story. They do seem a little bit realistic in that aspect, that they don't really stand out that much. Like a lot of people just don't really stand out that much from the crowd. And I don't and the whole school doesn't like treat them as like this certain thing. Like the whole school doesn't treat them that way. It's just their friends. Their friends enjoy seeing them together. And that's something that I noticed in some shows that aren't written as interestingly, is like we may see it with the in the next season with like the cool beauty, the girl that's really pretty and the boy that's really pretty. Like everybody starts like fawning over them and stuff. It's not like a strong aspect of the show. It's something that's like constantly happening in the background. And that doesn't happen
Hmm.
in this show. You do have some characters starting to appreciate his handsomeness in the what is the like the classroom the episode where the classrooms do like maid cafes or whatever. I don't even know what that's like, the school fair. I'm not sure what that like thing is
Yeah,
called.
I think it's a. I don't know, honestly.
Basically, it's a yearly event where classes will do like certain things, and they'll have people visit from other schools to like look at their classrooms and see and judge them for how well they did like certain activities.
Hmm.
I'm not sure like the whole concept behind why Japan does it, but this is very much a Japan thing because you see in every romance. So yeah, we have other people come in and appreciate his attractiveness, like because they did a pretty good job doing his makeup and setting up in a cool outfit. But otherwise, we don't have people like fawning over the main characters and everybody wanting to be with them. They are very much just like set as a normal couple, which I enjoy. I think that's probably about as deep as I could really get into it for Yannick, and I would definitely recommend this as a romance.
100%.
Yeah. Touring After the Apocalypse. Yeah, I think I mentioned most of the stuff when I was just going over in short. Is it is a very simple show. We just have very beautiful environments. There experiencing small bits here and there of like what happened, what the world was like before they got here. And right now they're just kind of going around and appreciating what nature has to offer. I think the last episode actually showcased it pretty well. Is like just exiting the bunker, being able to breathe like the fresh air outside, being able to feel the wind is kind of a magical experience if you've never had that before.
Yeah, all their win before was just a fan. Everything they've experienced has been within the bunker.
Yeah, like their life began in the bunker and they hadn't experienced anything of the real world until they left it. So everything they experience on their journey is something new and exciting for them. And seeing their earnest joy on their faces, they get to see new stuff and experience the world is heartwarming.
And the journeys they go on do have a lot of depth to them. Like even the broadcaster in Akiba,
Yeah.
that was very fun. And right before that, like you have a lot of these stories where they meet someone who's gone through a lot and there's a lot of meaning through their meeting. Just
I guess yeah, passing on like some wisdom and stuff to the next generation of of what there is left of humanity. Just continuing on their stories. Like the first really super emotional episode you get is episode 3, I believe it was, where they run into this guy who got placed into an android body and isn't dead yet,
mhm.
and his family passed a long time ago. He was just a soldier who happened to survive, or maybe he was just a security guard or something. Either way, he was just a guy who managed to survive. And as he regains his memories, because he because he just got turned on and stuff, and like as he starts accessing more of his memories, he remembers his wife and his kid, and then he has them leave him just on a dock to live out his final moments and reminisce about his family, and hopes he
Mhm.
gets to see them once again after he dies. And
Yeah,
just
like these
yeah, you going?
you know, you can finish.
I was gonna say, and the execution of these stories is extremely high quality. It's just
Yeah,
extremely endearing and heartwarming, and I think they really knew how to hit on emotional moments.
exactly. And I just wanted to add that these meetings are much different compared to like Dusk Beyond the End of the World, where they're just meeting a couple other people traveling. No, these are meetings that mean everything to the robots that they're encountering. These are the first people they've seen in hundreds of years.
Yeah,
And it's the only time they'll be able to live out their dreams is through interacting with Yoko and Irie.
yeah. Like the other you mentioned earlier, the broadcaster, the guy who's broadcasting out to really no one for like hundreds of years, is trying to spread the joy of the music he likes,
Hmm.
or I guess the memories of the music his creator liked. Either way,
I mean, just they're just driving. Suddenly the radio turns on. It's fucking Sword Art Online's opening, you know?
yeah. And people just keeping on their humanity in any way they have.
Hmm.
Yeah, touring was a really fun and emotional show, and I enjoyed pretty much every episode. And then the next one, Tatsuki Fujimoto 1726. Let's go into each episode here. The couple clucking chickens, as I mentioned earlier, capping on that. Uh, Aliens invade Earth, kill everybody, eat them because they find them tasty. Then there's one girl left and her brother slash caretaker, adoptive brother, trying to survive pretending to be chickens because the aliens are pretty stupid. They don't really understand things. They don't understand
Hmm.
these humans wearing chicken outfit heads are actually humans.
Yeah.
They're
They've simultaneously eaten all the humans, but they can't recognize what a human looks like.
yep. Yeah, and then there is one alien who recognizes that these people are humans, and he decides to start looking after them. But eventually, oh no, somebody realizes, oh wait, their helmet fell off, and now I realize that this is a human. He's like, I want to eat the human. and then we
Hmm.
just go to ridiculous Gonzo territory where these aliens just start fighting on like super scale,
Yeah,
just like with superpowers and
entire
stuff.
mountains being destroyed and shit.
And then we have like this alien security guard who's like a mile high, just attacking the alien trying to protect the girl. It just kind of goes ridiculous. It's well animated, but I don't have any care for what's going on. I don't have any care for what's going
Mhm,
on. The world is already over. There's no saving the world at this point. So I don't really have anything to attach myself to. I don't care about the aliens. I don't really care about this conflict. It's like we're telling a story after the end already, and then but nothing really gets saved or solved. It's just people die.
mhm.
In the end, one of the aliens was actually pretending one of the aliens killed her brother and actually took the place of him because he wanted to learn more about humans.
Yeah, and so I don't even remember if she gets away, but
No, she dies.
yeah,
I'm pretty
you're
sure
right,
she
she does
dies.
die.
Yeah.
She does die.
So yeah, it was all for nothing, really, in the end. And
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he dies too. He gets killed too. So yeah, the memory of the humans is just gone now. Anyways, like he just gets killed by the like security or military alien.
Mhm.
And it's just over. I thought the story sucked. I was like, this is shit. And I was
Well,
like,
I think the beginning of it contributed a lot to that because you have a bunch of aliens LARPing as humans, and it's just the most embarrassing dialogue on purpose, mind you, but it's extremely embarrassing to like read or listen to. Like these ugly ass aliens pretending to be high school sweethearts and shit.
yeah, I had nothing in episode one that I liked. It was terrible. I don't. If you just like had 7 episodes, infinitely better show. Just forget forget that. And Sasuke stopped a bullet. Much better episode. Just way better.
I feel like the humor really shines in Sasaki Stops Bullet and later episodes like Love is Blind.
Love is
Like if you
Blind
want
is
to
the
actually,
one where he couldn't confess, right? That's the one where he could not
yeah, he's
confess.
like, "There's no stop. I need to confess. Fuck you."
Yeah, Sasuke stopped a bullet. It was the humor was excellent. It was hilarious. It was a great episode. We just have the building and building and building of tension. We have that a lot. Again, we don't have it in every episode. But we have that a lot in his comedy. It's just like how we build up to more and more and more and more. And this is something you'd think that would work for the couple chickens episode. I did not feel like it worked very well there. I felt he very much found a better way to use that style of story in his following in these following stories. He was able to tell it much better in the following stories, like Sasuke stopped a bullet, where he just culminated in. I can't remember the exact plot of the episode, but I know it culminates in him stopping a bullet. But we just get little aspects of building up, just like this guy of him questioning the motives of this guy who wants to kill their teacher.
Mhm. Oh, man. He did, in fact, maybe stop that bullet. Who knows? Watch the show.
Yeah, yeah. We have aspects of just like I forget which what they reference, but they're talking about like improbability is like in some way and somehow you could stop a bullet. Just the chances are so low that it wouldn't happen. Like you're being able to just like time it perfectly to grab the bullet out of the air. Like they're talking about
Mhm.
probability and stuff like that. It built up. I thought it was just like it was a ride. Yeah, after the first episode, each one is just more interesting than the first. Each individual episode. Yeah, Love is Blind. We had this boy just trying repeatedly to confess to this girl that he loved her. Just all these different things happening. Like this cop comes up to him and then he's like, "No, sir, please, I need a moment here." Just
He gets robbed. He gets mugged.
he gets
He's like,
mugged. He's
"No,
like,
give me
"No,
my
I
clothes."
can't let this happen. I need to confess. You need to give me a minute here. I'll get back to you after I'm done with this." And then an alien comes down and he's like, "No, I need a minute here. Can you destroy the world later?" It follows the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy where they're going to destroy Earth to make a highway in its place. And then they decide not to because of his beautiful confession to the girl. He ends up saving the world because he confesses to a girl. What was Shikaku? I don't actually remember what that one was off the top of my head.
Me neither. I was hoping you remembered.
No, I think we could look through these. We could find which one it was.
Like I remember Nayuta, Sisters.
Oh, I think this was the one where the girl
Oh,
it
yeah,
destroys
this was
everything.
Vampire one.
No, this is not the vampire one. Or well, actually, she might have been
This
a
is
vampire. I don't remember if she was a.
she's
Doesn't
not the
use Hitman
vampire.
Shikaku. Oh, okay, that
Yeah.
was the vampire one. Oh, I did not think it was
Mhm.
that. Okay, yeah, this guy is looking for somebody who can kill him. Okay, yeah, basically he wants to try to find somebody who can kill him, but he ends up finding somebody who he can actually just enjoy his time with. No, yeah, okay,
Mhm.
this is one I did like this one a lot. I didn't remember if that was the third one or not.
I think this was the fourth one, but it builds up the comedy
Oh
and
yeah, fourth.
tension. Like I was seeing clips of this one on Twitter as soon as the episode aired. Like it is very good.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, we're gonna go full spoilers on this. I already said that you should watch the show if you don't want to get spoiled.
Yeah.
But yeah, Shikaku. This is another great episode. We have the girl trying to figure out different ways to kill him, and then trying to do different things, and she ends up on TV.
Mm.
It just like it keeps building as she keeps fighting the army and stuff. And then he ends up coming in to save her. He doesn't know what compels him to, but he ends up doing it and turns her into a vampire with him and ends up living
Yeah,
out their
so she
days
can
together.
it jumps straight from okay, I'm turning you into a vampire so you can endlessly help me like try and die. 100 years later, they're like celebrating his birthday.
Yeah,
It's
and
all very cute.
you can see that he's actually genuinely finally happy. He's actually smiling. And he's actually
Hmm.
found a purpose in life for which he wants to live is to spend time with her. Which, yeah, extremely sweet. Very good romance. And just show, and then we have another romance in the next one. And it's just like we continually showcasing these different aspects of his writing quality. He's able to write these very different things extremely well.
Hmm.
Oh, hey, Pop. Yeah. Right now I'm going over Tatsuki Fujimoto, 1726. I'll go back to the tier list in a minute after we're done with this one. Yeah, just going over every episode. This is one I would definitely recommend. I love this anthology series. A lot of people may have missed it because it came out just like in the middle of the season. Or, oh, it actually wasn't. It's October 17th. It came out like 2 weeks in the season, I think it was. It just like, dropped all 8 episodes on Netflix or whatever it was. Actually, let's see what it was on. It
I
says
think it was on
Amazon
Amazon.
Prime. Okay, so it was got just dropped all on Amazon. Oh, later streamed worldwide on 8th. Okay, yeah, that's why I was late. I was like 17th. Okay, yeah, it had a 2 week theatrical run on the same day on October 17th. Okay, yeah, this is one I would absolutely recommend. The first episode I thought was pretty uninteresting. You can watch it if you want. It's like it's one episode, but every other episode aside from the first I thought was extremely engaging and just like very different styles. Like Sasuke Stopped a Bullet was a comedy. Love Is Blind was not. It was about the romance, or it was focusing on a single guy and his romance for a girl, but it was a comedy of him trying to confess to her repeatedly. And then Shikaku was another romance, another one where we just build into absurdity of of her deciding that. Was it that she said she loves him.
Yeah, she was trying to figure out why she was so interested in him, and then we get the confession scene.
Yeah, she confesses on TV in the hospital as she tried to get his attention. She wants him to come to her, and eventually he does. It turns out they were made for each other.
Hmm.
Yeah, and then in Mermaid Rhapsody, this is another romance one. We have a boy and a mermaid, and he plays the piano for her, and she finds him just adorable. But then they have to contend with the different natures of what it means to be human and what it means to be a mermaid. He can't live underwater, and she can't really she can't avoid her nature, which is a predator. The mermaids are predators,
Hmm.
and when he starts bleeding, she can't help but attack him. And other mermaids also cannot resist the urge either, so he can't he can't really live with her. It does end up getting resolved, and they end up being able to be happy in the end. But yeah, we had a great progression of just like the aspect of two different worlds and romance between them. Uh, Very much, I wouldn't really compare it to Little Mermaid or anything. We have little aspects of that. You could say, okay, this is the two worlds thing is a fish in water or a fish out of water or a human in water. However you want to
Hmm.
put that. We have that main aspect of it. Otherwise, it's pretty straight romance. Woke Up as a Girl Syndrome. I think that was the other one. I think that was my second least interesting one.
Yeah, I think this one was also a romance.
Yeah, it ends up he ends up getting together with his best friend. Yeah, I think the Woke Up as a Girl, that one was like also one I did not find that interesting. I thought it was kind of more middling.
Yeah, he has a girlfriend. So you have this average dude who has a girlfriend. He wakes up as a girl, and then will he still be with his girlfriend, or will he get with the girlfriend's brother, who he kind of likes now?
I
It
think
was pretty gay.
yeah, I think he ended up getting with the brother, right?
No, no, he stayed with the girlfriend.
Oh. Oh yeah, okay, that's what
Yeah.
it was. They ended up accepting each other for what they were. Yeah.
Hmm.
That one was kind of an that seemed a little bit allegorical as well. What was a girl? I wouldn't say that one was bad. I just didn't like it as much as the other ones. It didn't seem as interesting. It seemed more like gay propaganda to me.
Pretty much.
Yeah,
Then you get Nayuta of the Prophecy.
she was somewhat similar to the Nayuta, like superficially similar to the Nayuta he later had in Chainsaw Man, but it was a little bit different. It was basically this kid with a super powered little sister who he was prophesized basically to destroy the world, and she's capable of doing that, but she doesn't because of him. And he realized that what his role in this was, and the way he was trying to protect her from the world was the wrong way. He was not raising her properly. He realized in the end what he actually had to do, to how he had to treat her
Yeah.
correctly. He couldn't keep hiding her. He had to actually properly teach her how to live in a society of humans. It ends up in a
Yeah.
pretty nice climactic action sequence at the end of the episode, and I thought the story was decently touching. Yeah.
It's one of the better ones, definitely. And if you read Chainsaw Man, then this is like a must. It's like a must thing. Fuck. This is the thing you have to check out at some point.
Yeah, it very much
Nayuta.
absolutely had inspiration for Chainsaw Man, like some of the stuff carried over in terms of plot and whatnot carried over, or just like
Hmm.
theming. Yeah. Yeah, then the last one was Sisters. I think I could show this because it's censored.
Probably not.
Third year at art high school in the hallway. I mean, who cares if it gets caught anyways? Third year at art high school in the hallway, found a painting which had won the school competition. We hung up for a whole year. A nude painting of herself done by her little sister. So basically, this was Sisters is a story between two sisters who don't really quite get along, and they have to go through the episode is them working through their problems they have with each other and becoming closer by the end of it.
Hmm. The older sister has an inferiority complex, and it all works out pretty well. I enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah, honestly, I thought that was a great conclusion to the whole series. And it really,
Hmm.
even though it is like an anthology, there isn't really much connection between them. Just seeing his work over time and how he changed his perspective and where he grew into and where he was like the different stories he was trying to tell, I thought it was very compelling overall as like a whole piece. Although, like again, I would say is like you could still cut out the first one and lose nothing. I don't think there's really anything in the first episode that I liked.
I get it. And then on depressing, it starts on a depressing note, and then it's on a very high note with sisters.
Yeah, you get to see him progress from a terrible artist to a pretty great artist.
Yep. Yep.
Yes, I did think Sisters was a pretty good culmination of it, and just tied in a lot of different things of his work over the years. Because we have the aspect of basically just human relationships and working through conflict. And that was the whole focus of the episode, and I think that's something that's kind of present in most of his work. and it was a pretty decent distillation of it. So yeah, I had a really good time going through this whole series ultimately, and I thought it was a pretty good way to end it. Yeah, do you have anything else you would like to say about this one?
No, it was just all very good, except for the first one.
Except for the first one. Yeah, this is go over my tier list real quick since you got here, Pop. Yeah, I had I had mostly shows I didn't like this season. Mostly shows I did not like. Inexpressive Kashiwata, Expressive Ota. Eh, that was
The
just
worst.
from episode one. I just hated the whole concept of it. Just utter garbage. Shibake, again, the same thing. Set in like ancient Japan with these bald people. I really didn't like it. It was like it was some kind of mixing of just like this guy who's supposed to take care of spirits, like this young boy who's supposed to be taking care of the spirits. And just like I really hated episode one. I just did not want to watch anything after that. Wa Dance. People were telling me other aspects of the show were pretty nice. Everything outside of, or everything outside of the CG dancing was at least okay. But like the way they did the CG animation was so horrific that I couldn't bother. Oh, I watched Shibake. Man, it was dull as dishwater. Yeah, like I got that from episode one. I was like, I don't want it. I don't want this. I don't want this. I don't want this.
Yeah.
I felt that from like the instant I started watching it all the way to the end of episode one. I was like, I don't like this at all. Yeah. And Togenanki, I remember, I can't remember who told me that they really liked it. It was somebody I was talking with on Leon's stream the other day. Said, man, I really like Togenanki. I think it might have been Dax. He like really liked Togenanki. And maybe there's some interesting aspects, but like episode one was utterly horrific and the most generic bullshit I've ever seen.
Yep.
Togenaki, please skip. And Watari's XXX is about to collapse. I don't think this title is supposed to make sense. I really hated the aspect or like the dynamic between the characters in episode one. I was like, this is not going to go anywhere I want to see. So yeah, I mean, instant drop. Then we have Ninja versus Gokudo. Uh, Ultra OP Ninja just like kind of wipes the floor with a bunch of Yakuza types. And it didn't seem like the whole concept of the two sides battling each other for generations was at all interesting to me. I didn't like any of the characters shown at the start, so instant drop. Ventures gathering isekai, just another generic isekai, no cares. Here without a class. I don't think that was an isekai, but the way they presented the combat in the first episode was, oh, so you can learn the skill. Well, I saw you use the skill, so I could do it, but I could do it better, even though I don't have a class. That lets me use
See,
any
because
skill.
you got the skill automatically with the class. I learned how to do your skill, so I can evolve the skill. You can't. Fuck you.
The whole idea is that you just swing your sword twice. Well, how about I swing my sword 4 times? That's how complicated it got. That's the depth of depths of thought the author had about their their power system in the world.
Yeah, that was it.
Level 99 Gotcha, one of the worst revenge fantasy shows I've ever seen. Episode 2, it was a slice of life episode that didn't focus on the show at all. Then episode 3 we went back to the actual revenge fantasy thing. And we skipped forward like 10 years of him growing a kingdom. I mean, it felt like it was a 10-year time gap or whatever. Yeah, we just skipped the entire building of him being from zero going to it already being it already being over. It's like he already got accomplished everything he needs to commit to be able to take revenge. And One Punch Man, just like one of the ugliest shows I've ever seen. Just absolutely unacceptable. I liked Gotcha, Pop says. I don't like revenge from a baseline, so nothing for me. Absolute zero. Yeah, so this utterly ridiculous episode one. What did they do, Michael? What did they do episode one?
They killed Shibuya.
That's what happened in episode one. They killed Shibuya. Let's play a webtoon adaptation set in modern life of this girl working in an office, making, and on her spare time she makes video games, and then there's a person who plays video games who tanked her reputation in as low as it possibly could go because he had a massive YouTube fan base, and then he moves in next to her, like the streamer dude, and then they're gonna get in a relationship eventually, and it's gonna be pretty dumb and contrived. Banished court magician aims to become the strongest. I don't remember anything about this one. I thought it was just like very. It felt like they knew what it felt like so contrived. Like the plot beats were so contrived.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah, you dropped Let's Play as well. Okay. Yeah,
Yeah, he was basically fired by the prince and then instantly got together with the friend to go
yeah. His
party.
friend was just there waiting for him to get fired.
Mhm.
Pastor Monster Meat Milady, you wanted to see this one. Episode 1, I was already out on it for the animation quality, and I just did not find the setup very interesting at all. It's like I liked the idea of what it could have been, but I felt like their execution was not interesting in any way.
Yeah, it repeated itself a lot. Got very boring very quickly.
Dungeon Meshy with romance, the Monster Meat one. I mean a bit like that, but yeah, I did not like the character setups at all in episode 1. A Dark History of the Reincarnated Villainous, a very meta villainous show, and I was like, I don't really care.
Mhm.
Dead as a Hero, Mama's Spirit, I'm a Reincarnator. That one is eh. It's just like it wasn't even the most generic thing. It was like we have the like it's not the most generic thing. Like yeah, we have the idea that these parents are like superpowered, sure, but also their story is over, and we're gonna be going with another. Then we have their daughter who's a reincarnator. So yeah, we already have a story after the story. Now we're following this new character idea. And ultimately, episode 1, I don't remember if it was episode 2 or not that I watched, but ultimately, it's just like it was very dull in the first episode, so I just didn't have a feeling I should keep going with it. Nosy, I did end up bumping up a little bit because it was like mildly interesting. The only reason we're going on with it is just to see how dumb it gets. We talked about it a lot earlier, so I'm not gonna rehash too much. That was the first one we went over. But ultimately, like
Mhm.
the whole concept in trying to adapt this visual novel game into a anime does not work at all. I think the whole premise of it being werewolf where the computer knows everything but it also doesn't know anything doesn't make sense. And the idea that we're going through the time loop over and over again so this mysterious higher power third party alien can learn more about humans is very dumb. I didn't like it. But I'm still gonna finish it. Yeah, this monster wants to eat me. Suicidal lesbian gets taken over by or gets protected by a mermaid who wants to eat her eventually because she smells really good. So that's obviously like sees the hero. Brilliant Assassin was let down for me at the end. I assume you're talking about this assassin one, my assassin sees the hero. Yeah, it's just like the plot is not really that interesting. It's like it could be good, but I don't think the writer was just that experienced. I just don't think they really knew what they were doing. And I think the animation was quite good, but that's not really enough to get me to watch on its own. When I know the plot because I read the manga before and I was already bored of that. Plus, there's Adventure in Love, somewhat of a murder mystery kind of thing going on. I didn't really watch enough to get a good idea of it, but the initial episodes were just kind of okay. There's other shows I like better, so we dropped it. My friend's little sister had it in for me. We talked about that one a little bit earlier. I guessed perfectly what it would end with, and Michael doubted me,
He
but
did.
he looked it
I
up.
disagreed, looked it up, and it was exactly what he said.
I
Terrible.
said because they had the arranged fake relationship that they would end up getting together because that's what always happens when you have the fake relationship, it turns real. Even though the little sister is supposed to be the main love interest, he ends up getting with the more boring white haired girl, and it sucks.
Yeah. So basically the main character, which is the girl, gets cucked.
Yeah, Mechanical
Terrible.
Marie.
Terrible.
Mechanical Marie. It was pretty okay. It was just a moderately okay comedy. It didn't really have too much going for it. I thought it was just okay. Then we had My Awkward Senpai. Again, I thought it was okay. You didn't really like it, and that was the main reason we dropped it. I probably watched it a little bit more, but I don't think I would have gone beyond episode 6 before I got bored of it. As I mentioned earlier, I thought Star Brighter and Sun was probably a little bit too harsh to it. It was pretty okay. We just decided to pursue other shows. It might have been ended up good in the end. Alma-chan Wants to Be a Family. This one was it was pretty okay comedy, a little bit of slice of life thing. Oh yeah, may I ask for one final thing? Honestly, it was a letdown from like episode 1 for me. I really didn't feel like it went anywhere. It's like, okay, you have the concept of this punchy princess, but she's also so insanely overpowered that nobody really poses a challenge to her. So all of her problems she gets to solve through punching. Like I would like to see the fact that she can't solve certain problems with punching people. I mean, because that's the way it is in the real world. And I would like to see her have to actually do other things. And then her reward is that she eventually gets to punch people. And that's what she gets to take delight in. But no, I don't think it was really well written. It lost me, so we ended up dropping it. Tojima wants to be Kamen Rider. I thought it played well into its tropes. I think it was a fun story setup. I didn't really find it to be the most engaging thing. Overall, I didn't really love the characters or the comedy or the setting because I'm not really into Kamen Rider kind of stuff. I thought it was pretty okay. And one of the other reasons I didn't want to watch the full 2 core of it, I didn't want to watch 24 episodes, so I dropped it kind of early at like episode 6. And yeah, and I think we gone over mostly everything else, and it kind of flows into a not recommended, maybe recommended tier, and then likely recommended. Ramune still is not going to finish until spring season for like another 3 months, and I think I would probably end up recommending it, but I don't know. And then we have Yano-kun, which I found to be a very nice, sweet little romance, and Tour After Then, very beautiful series, again recommended. And like pretty much all these, yeah. And these were 2 good action series, and I think Wild Last Boss kind of expanded their plot quite a bit in the ending episodes that we'll talk about in just a minute here. Spy Family, I don't really have anything specific to talk about. I just find it to be a consistently great comedy. I like the characters. I like our like Cold War setting. I just always find it endearing. It's just like such an easy watch. I might end up like I'll probably end up going over my whole list of shows and like revise some of the ratings they give them, so maybe it would end up going down to like an 8.5 or something like that in the future. But right now I have it at 9, so it's in my A plus tier. Yeah. And then Sonda I found to be one of the best new action shows I've watched in a while, where it's like an actual like just honest to God, it's a shonen that I enjoy. It doesn't happen very often. And we'll be talking about that one last. But yeah, for now we'll go to A Wild Last Boss Appeared.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why don't you go over the plot for this one, Michael? What did you like about this one?
So we got this guy, and he ends up taking his video game character in the game, but it's actually
Lufus.
200 years. Yeah, Lufus. It's set 200 years after he last played the game, in universe 200 years later, where he was killed by his guild mates because they were just dicking around. And now the world
Or
is
like,
real.
specifically, go back. The idea was that they were trying to role play. They're trying to role play
Yeah,
in universe in the game, and
they were role
they
playing
had
in
the
universe.
story was that Lufus is the most powerful character, and she ended up being killed by all the heroes banding together to save the world. That was the idea.
Hmm. And it was like a full thing actually in universe because they were all the strongest players and they wrote literal books about it.
Yeah,
And so yeah, she ends up being he ends up becoming Lufus. He meets up with Dina, which is the blue-haired girl, and they go around trying to collect her 12
yes.
mystical beasts while trying to see if there's any other actual humans inside this world.
Yeah, eventually she learns that there really isn't other humans inside this world. This is a newly created world based on the game with lore that was not in the original game. Like because
Hmm.
like later Lufus, the main character, we're just gonna call him Lufus every time, though inside he still thinks of himself as a guy.
Yeah.
Lufus. Uh, all these characters are created real by some goddess of some other dimension, and he was invited by the goddess to take the place of Lufus, who was a different character beforehand, because it was based on a story, not based on just what they did in game. It's based on a story that was written.
Hmm.
So yeah, this Lufus character existed and had a different personality before he possessed this new Lufus that had been reincarnated. And apparently they're basically playing a big game for the goddess for how she wants the story to go, for how she wants the story to play out ultimately. And she's trying to have her characters play this game for her, for entertainment, for some sick satisfaction. Who knows? All we know is she's not really benevolent. That's for sure. Yeah, most of the
Hmm.
story is spent of her going around to different places trying to collect, like you said, her 12 generals, which Dina was not one, but Aryasu, Agiokeros, Libra, and I guess Virgo. I didn't even remember seeing her show up. Oh, she was at the end, yeah.
Yes, at the very end.
Yeah, I guess she probably joins them for like the next season. There's got to be more of this. there's already a sequel season planned. I think it'd probably
Mhm,
take 3 seasons to get through this whole thing, the whole plot line. Maybe not 3, but maybe like 18 episodes more.
mhm.
Maybe like another season and a movie finale. Maybe that would be a good amount of time to go through our whole plot line. Yeah, basically, Lufus's power is sealed from where she was before, even though she's still one of the most powerful people in the universe, like in universe. And so he has to continue on the planned quest line that the goddess has laid out for them to get stronger so he can ultimately defeat the demons, because the demons are a species created only for destruction, and if they cease to kill people, if they stop killing people, they will die. So they are compelled by their biology to continue killing humans.
Mhm.
And the setting is that the humans have taken over a significant portion of the previous world at this point because of their bloodlust, and there was nobody that could truly oppose them, because the Demon King is just operating according to how he has to live to stay alive, because he can't just commit suicide. So he ends up beating the heroes that beat Lufus, and the heroes just can't. The heroes are all defeated and despondent because they can't do anything to save the world. So it's really up to Lufus to regain her old power to be able to defeat the Demon King. The Demon King is not uh, passionate about one way or the other. He is just doing what his his biology compels him to do. He is a he's really just along for the ride. He doesn't make the decisions ultimately, because if he stopped acting in this way, the goddess would probably force him to do something. Because the goddess can also possess people, or the goddess can project herself into the world and force certain things to happen to her will. So yeah, I thought the ending was pretty cool. I'm excited for season 2. I thought it had
Yeah,
some.
you were saying before, like, the last 3 episodes, you would have just rated this, like, a decent action show and moved on. Except, yeah, they did all those twists and turns in the last couple episodes, and, made it really something to look forward to.
I mean, that's how you do twists. I mean, this show does twists better than most. Like, there's
Mhm.
some decent foreshadowing towards it, like implying certain things that you can pick up on to know that this isn't the way it should be, and there is something else going on here. And I think it does a really good job of that. I think it sets its story up well. I think it's pretty engaging throughout. It has some nice action scenes. I think characters are probably like one of the weaker aspects of the story. Characters are just only moderately interesting. Lufus is fine, but the other characters, like I like Dina, but Aryasu, Libra, like Libra's just a robot. She doesn't really have that much to her. And Agio Karos hasn't had much time, but he also just isn't that interesting of a character to me. So yeah, characters, like usually I do say characters are a big thing to me. Characters are one of the weaker aspects of the show to me, but I still rate it pretty highly because I like everything else going on around it. Okay. And then the last show will actually be like covering, going over the plot. Sanda. Now this is basically my top new show this season. This kid is Kazushige Sanda is the living embodiment of Santa Claus, the spirit of Santa Claus, and the genetic continuation of Santa Claus. Whenever he wears red, I think he has to give a kid a present, and then anytime after that, when he wears red, he transforms into the fully grown adult Santa. And in this world, or yeah, I guess I could probably read the plot synopsis. It's kind of just a pretty good way to explain it. In the future, where children are few and regarded as Japan's most valuable assets, Christmas has become a mere legend of the past. For the students of Daikoku Welfare Academy, a boarding school where they're educated, protected, and monitored, the mythical Santa Claus is a forgotten character of fiction. For adults, Santa is a very real menace that needs to be neutralized by the Saint Nick Pursuit Unit in case he makes an appearance. This doesn't really play into the show that much. Like this is a focus, but like the Saint Nick Pursuit Unit isn't like a group, really. It exists in name more than actuality.
It's really just the one guy.
Yeah, it's mainly just the director of the academy or like the chairman who or whatever. he uh he wants to get this done, but it's not like we have this worldwide thing where adults everywhere are looking out for this guy. He's only appearing at the academy because it's tied to Sanda himself. But yeah, and then the story starts with Shiori excuse me, Fuyamura. a student of Daikoku Welfare Academy, is determined to find her best friend, Ichie Ono, who has been declared dead after being missing for 6 months. One morning, Fumura summons her fellow classmate representative Sanda, only to attack the unknowing boy, as she's convinced Sanda is the descendant of the infamous Santa Claus, the only person who can make her wish of finding Ono come true, as Santa Claus, is compelled to fulfill the wishes of children. Yeah, for Santa himself, we got a lot of good aspects of him slowly changing over the course of the story to become more like Santa Claus as his child self, and also fighting with the nature of what it means for him being both an adult and a child at the same time, and having both aspects of him, and him feeling compelled to help children. And that's an aspect of him not being able to fight children later that he has to be able to understand. That's like one of the main aspects for the end of this first season, is that he needs to be able to come up with a way where he can fight children, because they can be just as dangerous here as any adult can. Yeah, is there anything you would like to go over for the plot? Anything you'd like to highlight? Okay, you can go over whatever you want.
I think every character is really well written.
Yeah, you like all the
Like,
characters.
I like all the characters. I really like Nico
Yeah.
Kazao.
Yeah, this is a
Very
character that
fun.
gets introduced like around episode 5 or whatever.
Hmm.
Sanda's state mandated marriage partner. We'll get into the world a little bit.
Yeah, the world's fun, but she is like a gem in every scene she's in, you know.
Hmm. Yeah, what do you like about her? Express yourself.
I like how expressive she is. I like how she fucking has no interest in Sanda until she learns that there's a tiny bit more to him than meets the eye, and she's like, "Okay, yeah, we can get married. I don't give a shit."
Yeah, just
She just doesn't want to be tied down to someone really boring. And so when she finds out Sanda might not be boring, she's like, "Okay, yeah, you're not bad."
yeah, I think part of the aspect is that a lot of people in the academy like are pretty boring. She doesn't find interest in them, but when she learns a little bit more about him, she gets to spend a little bit of time with him and learn his quirks. She becomes more interested in him immediately, because he has more interesting about him than other people around. And when you have a state managed marriage partner, having having him be somebody interesting seems a lot better than not.
Hmm.
Yeah, starting from the beginning, we slowly, like, I guess starting with the world, we start slowly getting more and more aspects revealed to us, and stuff that you didn't really get explained earlier just starts to come into focus more. You get to see more aspects of the world. Like, these kids are in a refurbished mall. They're like living out of a mall and being taught in a mall, and they're not allowed to leave school grounds at all. Like, they value kids to the nth degree in terms of they will not they will watch and monitor over their every aspect of their life, really.
Hmm.
Although you think they would probably have cameras monitoring everything, they don't. Yeah, one of the first really weird aspects you learn of the world, like you see, is like kind of a post-apocalypse kind of thing, or like post-apocalypse where they're recovering from something terrible that happened, something like that. We don't have a clear picture, but we don't need one. We're basically in a scenario where these children are kept in a prison school. And one of the first things we learn is that they are not allowed to sleep, because if children sleep, then they can grow up, and they need children to stay children as long as possible for some reason. We haven't gotten that fully explained, but children do not sleep at night. They give them drugs so that they can sit in their bed and stare at the ceiling all night. And the one thing we talked about is that they're probably actually older than their listed age, because they don't sleep. Because children don't sleep. Do you not? Are you too tired to talk on anything?
Oh no, I'm still here.
As I say, you mentioned that before. Is like you're like really tired before the stream starts. So it's like, are you too tired to respond?
No, I'm gonna be for real. I kind of tuned out for a second.
You kind of tuned out for a second.
I tuned out for a second.
Yeah.
We were talking about.
The kids do not sleep. We're like getting
They do not
introduced
sleep.
to other aspects of the world. Is like one of the first ones is that children don't sleep here.
Yep, children don't sleep except for one character.
Yeah, except for one
She
character, and
learns.
that is a main plot point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like we start to get more stuff unravel to us, and we get to see Ono, the result of what happens when a child does sleep. Their their body can go through, or I don't think it's guaranteed, but their body can go through rapid puberty just instantly. They instantly turn into an adult because of the effect of like whatever weird shit they've been doing to them. If they do sleep, they turn into adult. That's why they're not allowed to sleep until they're old enough.
Mm-hmm.
And this is because uh, when you do that, you die. Or at least it's pretty likely you'll die. It's probably possible to survive, but Ono does not survive. Ono is an example of what happens when people go to sleep too early and then they grow up all at once and then they die. Their body cannot handle it.
Mm-hmm. A tragedy.
Yeah. And we see another aspect of it, through the director Oshiburu, the principal. He values youth above all. He is 90 years old, but he has entirely artificial organs, artificial skin. I think like his brain. Does he have his original brain? I think like
He does.
all. Yeah, like he's replaced basically every aspect of his body except for his hands. He's replaced everything on his body. All of his skin, all of his organs, all of his muscles are replaced with like either cybernetic enhancements or like fat grown stuff. Or like
Mm-hmm.
transplants, organ transplants. And he is the example of a common adult. The rich people in the society value youth to such a degree that they try to steal youth and to prolong their youth as much as they possibly can, even beyond insanity, where like he is like 92 years old trying to maintain the appearance of like a 20 something. And that's what people use their wealth on because of how prized it is in their society. Like what people focus on. And it's juxtaposed with another director at the school, like somebody on the board, older lady that we run into who saves Sanda from Oshibu later on. She is still capable, like you would see somebody in their youth. She's an extremely strong fighter and whatnot, as is Oshibu. But she rejects the like expectations of society and does not try to keep herself eternally youthful. She doesn't pursue that, so she's like kind of seen as a weird person. I would assume it's implied that she's seen that way, anyways. That she's like a very weird and uncommon and unnatural for her to not be pursuing beauty at any cost. It seems like a future Korean society, if anything, to me. It feels like this is what Korea would turn into.
It is a little bit weird that she would have any position of authority if that were the case, her being not respected at all or viewed as an oddity.
Oh, I think it's not that she isn't respected, but it's just like her choice to not age her or to not try to de-age herself is weird because this seems to be a common thing. Because we see this with who's the other character? Was it with Ono? Her mother?
No, 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 not Ono's mother, but the the basement girl's mother.
Okay, yeah. There was a character we run into later who's like the one of the last characters of the season. Was it not Namatame? I think it was her.
Yeah, it was her.
Yeah, we get some of her backstory, and her mother was also somebody who's tried to preserve her youth to a ridiculous degree, and that really gave her a crazy complex about life and where she is. She didn't end up seeing the world in the same way as her mother, but she also introduced us to another aspect of the world that gets revealed towards the end of season one, which is children are permitted to kill any adult at all, which is probably another reason why they're kept at a school. Yeah, children are allowed to kill children, but children are allowed to kill any adult. Just it's not against the law for them to kill an adult. And she is part of the school, the underclass, which are allowed to, or which not allowed to, but which are kids who have killed adults before. They are
Hmm.
locked in the basement basically, and they are not allowed to leave school. And she's one of those kids, and she is employed, or she is tasked by the principal, as he found himself unable to really kill Sanda himself. she is the one who's contracted. She is the best killer among them, and she's killed many adults. So she's the one who is tasked with killing Sanda in the final episodes of the season, and which is why he has to try to find a way to actually fight children. And I won't
Hmm.
spoil the ending for that, but I thought it was pretty well done. I really like how they do the action sequences. I really like how they make it so it's not just people punching each other, but they also have to figure out how to actually beat somebody. They have different rules and stuff they have to work on to actually overcome their challenges. It's not just a pure action series where they just train to get stronger simply for the sake of being stronger. There's other things they have to consider.
Hmm. It was extremely well done. I'm just recalling all of it right now. It was very fun to watch.
Yeah, there wasn't even a lot of action sequences. Like we have a couple action sequences which aren't fights, but like pretty much all of these like big fights that we had, I was very engaged with. I thought they're really well done. Yeah.
Hmm.
I was a really big fan of Sound. I mentioned before, but this is one that I could end up having move up even further. The reason I had it like I didn't have that great of a feel for it at the beginning of the show. I was like, okay, this is like a little bit more interesting than other action shows, but I didn't have too much attaching me to it compared to some others. Or not, I mean, I had a little bit more attaching me to it than some other like generic action shows. I was like, okay, there's this little aspect here. I thought the main character or the second main character Fuimura had a very weird design.
Hmm.
This one comes off as more female, but like the one they use in the show is less so. She doesn't wear lipstick. She doesn't have her hair like curly or whatnot like that. It's a lot more matted and weird. She's trying to display her as more weird and
Hmm.
abnormal. I didn't get into any aspects of her relationships in the show, but yeah, I think all these different characters have cool ways they complement the world and show different aspects of it, and just different personal aspects like her insecurities and her relationship with Ono and how she's trying to come to terms with what the world actually is, and her trying to explain the difference between grown-ups and kids, and how Ono, after she went through her experience, she really did start to become more of an adult, and the relationship we had with Ono before was not really going to be able to continue, as Fuyamura was still a child.
Hmm.
Even though she had some aspects of maturity to her, she, like being really tall, she just still wasn't an adult. Yeah, we're finishing up here, Pop. Thanks for hanging by. Have a good night. Yeah, I really liked all these different ways that the world is displayed. Oh yeah, this is the old lady. She does not care about appearing old. Rector, director of Daikoku Academy. In contrast to Oshibu, who constantly pursues youth, she gracefully accepts her old age. Oh yeah, they have a different voice for his young one too. Yeah, I
Yeah,
like.
because she can appear young.
Yeah, as I say, I do like pretty much all aspects of the show. Yeah, and I think I might end up raising it even more in the future if season 2 is good.
Hmm.
And if we don't get a season 2, like we just don't end up getting one, I'd be willing to go after the manga. I'd be willing to pursue that. Because I thought it was really well written, had great action sequences, has great characters, has good music, a really interesting world. Just no aspects of it are poor. It was my best show of the season outside of Spy Family.
Yeah, I agree.
Do you have any
And
feelings you would
Spy-
like to share on it? Any ways you like to express yourself talking about it? You could repeat the same thing I do. Just
So I think every character was extremely well written in this show. Okay, you go top down, Sanda, Shior, or Fuyamura. Even the guy you thought was boring, I think he's intentionally boring because you look at his backstory and he's the guy who didn't do anything in high school. He
I
did
mean, yeah,
nothing.
that's another way to say it's good. Like I didn't touch on everything, but yeah, it's like another way to look at it is the fact that the reason he is kind of more boring is because he's the person who decided to take it easy. He wanted to just fit in with what was normal. He didn't want to express himself or pursue his own passions. He just went with
Hmm.
what the world told him to do.
He's a great juxtaposition for all the other characters that may amount to something that could choose the other path.
Yeah.
And then again, like I enjoy all the characters, Kazao and Sanda. Even I Sanda probably less than like the other ones, but yeah, Amaya. Oh no, they're all great.
And one thing I could absolutely say for the and maybe I'll just upgrade it to 9 now because I mean, yeah, I think I probably will. Just like talking about more is like there's so many different aspects you can really highlight of the show and what it did well, and just like so many different things you can talk about for each of its individual characters and how they relate to the world and themselves.
Like I've mentioned this many times, but I enjoy I'm only going to watch a show for the characters if I enjoy them or the story if it's interesting, and it had both.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just like trying to think of anything I did, like you expressing like the positives of the old guy more. It's like lots of his early bits is like it seems a little bit silly that he would decide just not kill Sanda, but then you can see a little bit more his own reasons, what he sees
Mhm.
in himself of Sanda and what he wants him to
Well,
be able to accomplish versus what he was unable to do.
even that first scene where he meets Sanda, it's like Sanda's getting confessed to, so it seems, and he's just like super hyped up for Sanda.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think that's a pretty good. I think it's a pretty good way to leave it off. I think we covered everything we wanted to get done.
Hmm. Yeah, we hit all the marks.
Yeah, there was definitely some very good shows this season, but overall there was definitely not that many. There were a lot of shows that were just subpar or mediocre or truly trash shows. Yeah, I didn't really bother talking about any of the ones we didn't watch. This was Yano Kun, but that was just I didn't like this icon as much. But yeah, there's other shows. There's some continuing shows, stuff I'd never seen previous ones of. Like there was My Hero. I dropped My Hero a long time ago.
Mhm.
There's Gachi Akuda's continuation. There's Cinderella Grey, which you'd watched. Where would you say you would put your Cinderella Grey for
I
yourself?
have not finished it yet, but it's probably low B plus.
Okay, so like a 7.
Yeah.
You probably go to 7. Okay. Yeah, I have no idea how I feel about it. I had the original Pretty Derby on like 6 about. Yeah, that's gonna be all for us today. Went over the full tier list before we went over our last 2 shows. There's something I need to rehash that. Yeah, thank you all for coming by. Is me, Serranos, and also Bunger assisting, sharing
Yeah.
our thoughts on the fall 2025 anime. Hopefully 2026 will be better. I think I might be. I don't know if it'll be next week or if it'll be 2 weeks from now. Whatever we cover it, because if it's 2 weeks from now, I think everything will be out and we'll have like a couple episodes deep. So we may wait about 2 weeks before we do the new season. But there's already a couple shows I've been liking. Yeah, I think that's good for this one though.
Yeah.
Let's put on the 2026. Take a look. And that's a lot of shows. That's a lot of shows. About half of them we still haven't seen, and then there's already some I have dropped, and we'll talk about those when we get to it. And then we still have even more that are going to be coming for the rest of the season. Oh, not all of these are going to be released this season. I forgot. Like this one's the sword show. This one's the reincarnated sword. That one's not going to be releasing this season. There's like half of these shows on this like planning list I have. Those are going to be coming this season still. It's going to be like 50 shows that we're going to watch a single episode of. That's just like strictly more than we had for fall season as well. I was kind of surprised overall for fall. There just wasn't that many shows, and also just the quality was pretty low for the most part. Only a couple really good shows to watch.
Yeah, there was like 35, 40 shows, but next season has like at least 50.
Yeah,
It's
that
gonna be crazy.
we're gonna watch. It seems like to me that the summer season had soaked up a lot of the better shows that we'd like liked in the summer season. A lot of them got soaked up and were not in the fall season. Like they got pushed forward or something. Just how the cookie crumbles, evidently.
Hmm.
But yeah, any last word before we get out of here?
No.